Hey guys. So I have a lot to get to, and I have no idea how to like exactly structure it so that it's going to come out in a coherent way for everybody. So what I'm going to do is just start doing stuff because I really feel like I can navigate from anywhere, and it's really, oh my god. See, look here. So pi over 2 1.5 707, what is that? It's 45 degrees. It's 1 over the square root of 2, or square root of 2 over 2, and then 9/6. Now look at what I was just playing with. This is what just freaks me out, is like how symmetrical everything is. So this is the proton to, now wait till you see what I'm about to do. The first part is easy. This is the proton to electron number 1836.15, and then some other digits. And then I've got 3 and 3 and I'm adding the 3 3s because the gamma is the square root of 1/3 minus, here you go, you ready? This is crazy. 1 over 7,429.1838, and the difference is point like 0.000134 something. I can't remember what was after the 134. Okay, that's the actual fraction that creates the change between one over the square root of 3, which is the reciprocal of the square root of 3, which is monster groove symmetries. Okay? So I love the 3 3 because I think of that as the square root of 3. No, that's 1/3. So the square root of, is the square root of 1/3 the same as the 1 over the square root of 3? I think it is. I think it is, because for a long time, I'm about to find out, for a long time I kept just putting that in the calculator, is the square root of 1/3. Yeah, it's the same. So the square root of 1/3, 1 over the square root of 3, or maybe the square root of 3 over 2. Let's check. Probably not. I don't think it's the square root. I don't think that's the same. Square root of 3 over 2. Yeah, no, that's not the same. So it's 1 over the square root of 3, or the square root of 1/3. And I always thought about it as the square root of 1/3. Obviously, when you do square root of 1, it stays 1, so it's just 1 over square root of 3. But that's how I always thought about it. And so the difference is that number, 1 over 7,429. And real quick, the factorization, if you go on my Medium, I've got an article on this. If I don't, I'll have it published the next day or so. That is the prime factorization of this number. And then right on the end of it, remember 23 is right before you get to A, 2, 4. That's harder than it looks. Right? That's monster group. 23. Okay? Ties right in to the proton to electron mass difference. Okay? So I'm playing with this 3 3 because I'm adding it. Right? So check out this. This is cool. Because I've been thinking that because the 36 is a double of the 18, that you should be able to put the, so up quark, and you got to remember, alright, so the down quark charge is negative 1/3. The way I see that is it's doing the center of the 2/3 of the up quark. So you got two streams coming in, verifying at 1/3. It's a binary stream through both up quarks in the proton, where the binary stream comes in and it's getting verified at the charge of the neutron, and the neutron is 0.47 mass, where the proton is, or excuse me, damn it, up quark, down quark, up quark 2/3, down quark negative 1/3, up quark 2.2, down quark 4.7 in mass. Okay, so the way to think about this is a geometric verification structure where the center of the masses and the charges of the up quark come in, and the mass of the up quark actually represents the topological number 2 because it's 11 and 11 coming together. Why? Because it's 511, because it's 2/9. 2 to the 9th minus 1 is 511. The electron resting mass is 510.99 and then something, because the 99's it's just sitting there. The electron resting mass is a definition of pre-actuated electron register. It's the surface tension. It's the surface tension of the electron. It's just sitting there waiting at the 510.99 whatever. Because you'll see that these 99s, they come in all kinds of interesting ways, like the coupling constant 137.035999, and then it's either got a 5 and a 177, or it's just 177. I can't remember. I wish it had a 5. If it doesn't have 5, I wish it had a 5. But the point is that those 999s, that's 3-digit symmetries verifying the 9s. So that means that probably you look at it with the whole picture. So binary comes in, and somehow between that conversion of actual mass verification through the dampening structure of the higher mass down quark, the coupling happens. It happens there, and that's a funnel of physical energy into reality through the gluon system. The gluon is a bunch of flux tubes, and when you violate the symmetry, you produce mesons. Mesons are No, we don't want those unless it's very targeted, just like free radicals in the nervous system. This is what Michael Levin is talking about. When he's talking about you can take a mass unit and a physical measurement and you can substitute them and then just rewrite the almost exact same paper and it becomes something that's publishable, he's talking about this. That's what the whole idea behind platonic space is. The whole idea is that mass and scales and categories and classes have specific structures that follow geodesics. And then this is what I figured out today. I can't believe it. Maybe it was yesterday too. Cross entropy, when you have different structures. This is what is so fucking awesome. So I believe 8989 is 1000, and then it's 797, the digit structure. This is so weird in binary. You won't even believe it. But it's true. I promise you. So 1799, 13, 5. This is a pretty good example. So 8989 is 1000 in front of 797, which is this number. This is 17 in the middle, and then it's 99 for base 10, and then this is 13 and 5. And so I've been seeing these. Oh, and by the way, this is going to drive you nuts. The first 4 of C squared or light squared is 8987. So it's a permutation in the 4th digit. Now, if you look at the decimal thing that I have on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck, see if I can get some space for the blank page. The decimal 2389 is 25842 696 629 213, and then 48. The 48 the 84 and the 48 on the end, you can barely see it, are bookends. Bookend, and then 2, 3, 2 is also a bookend, and this is interesting. But what I found, because it would be one less magnitude than the E8 well group, which is what I'm about to put up. 8696 729 600. Now, the difference is in the fourth digit. It's a permutation in the fourth digit. Just like the permutation in the fourth digit here goes from 9 to 7. The other one is a 6. So I'm guaranteed that's going to have some geometric relationship to 6s. Other than the fact that it is a 6, is going to have something else that's a 6. And so, I'm so sorry I was showing. Oh, there it is. And then, so, here we go. The difference between these two numbers is what? 387. Guess what the strange attractor is? If there's a strange attractor at the edge of the Swiderski gasket, that's 386. This is a fucking measurement structure, bro. It's inside of 23 divided by 80. Man, I'm gonna get good at that. Writing backwards. 23 over 89. That's what this decimal is. It's a quarter. And it's all these numbers. And it's a verification structure for the E8 well group. Now, we're gonna go back to the other thing that I was doing. Remember, 23, right? 23 factors into this number that structures the difference between the monster group symmetry of the square root, the reciprocal of the square root of 1/3, or excuse me, the square root of 3, and gamma. So it's like the opposite side. So it's like coming in from the monster group, which would be the local symmetries, because it doesn't have any square root 2 root structures. This is hyperdimensional space energy that's literally around us all the time. And we're fucking downloading it into electron orbitals, bro. All the fucking time. And it's fucking coming in with that type of symmetry. So we have to translate it into the tissue structure. Whoa! And I'm telling you, these numbers are getting so close. It's just unbelievable. And so what I was talking about with the 6-9, I was freaking out because the 6-9 shows up right here with the 36 plus the 33, and that equals 6-9. But that's not even where I was really fascinated. Where I was really fascinated was, see if you can see it. Right here, we got 18 plus 33 is 51, right? Other than the fact, I think 52 was the ancient Vedic structure. Anyways, this number ties here. Because if you say it doubles, you say you got 33 and you got 66, then that equals 51102, like that. And I was like, oh my god, because what is that? That's 2 to the 9th minus 1 right here. And then you got the O2, which is the weird permutation between the 18 and the 36. It's also represented 2 binary, blah blah blah. Also 2. And you got to think, this is electromagnetic coupling constant, and it's tied to like super low numbers, like how many, the random percentage of neutrinos that get produced is 2%, blah blah. I can't directly connect that just yet, but eventually I'm gonna figure it out. But the point is that this is actually really close to the electron mass, which is 1 and so what that is the representation of the geometric signature that activates the resting mass and makes it move. It makes it attach. It pulls it in. That's how that works, because it's working off binary, which is the square root of 2. And so when I'm looking at these other numbers like this, I'm like, oh my goodness. Look at all these different operations that this one number does right here. And why has it got the 9 in the center? Now, let's think about why I'm asking that question, because I already talked about the 707 as the sign value of 45. But look at this. 511 is 9 ones. When you square 9 ones, as if it was a decimal structure in base 10. Guess what happens? You get a palindrome. Now, what do you think the numbers on that palindrome are? Stator, rotor. Bro, electrons are not little digits. You have an electron occurrence when you have an activation structure. And so what happens is all that rotors and stators from with these fucking numbers right here, this is the digit representation of what's happening inside of the liquid electron cloud. And so the way that these numbers fit together in these larger structures, like remember how I had 20, 23, and 89? By the way, Sapirski gasket, ln of 3 over ln of 2. Right there, 2, 3 again. 8 fact, oh yeah, by the way, so I need to publish this now. Not publish this, but get over myself. So 2 to the 16 over 8 factorial minus phi, or phi, and then the square root of pi minus 0.5 minus phi. These are the upper and lower bounds of the coupling constant. Now, I haven't figured out, I think this is tied to radians, and when you go to radians like 0.28, which is right before the 29 and the 7429, and then that creates a digit string and it has its own verification structure. But I can't go all that way yet. But this is upper, I think this is lower. Actually, I think this is lower. Damn, I can't remember which one is upper and lower. Either way, you do the math, you'll see they're right there within less than 1%. They're right. They might be exactly 2% off. Wouldn't that be crazy if it was the upper bound by 2% on both sides? Anyways, they're super close, and it creates a geometric tie to these other numbers, and we'll be able to improve them over time. Let's see here. Let's actually do it real quick. I hope you guys don't mind. 1749. That's a good number. I'm going to take that as a indication we're going in the right direction. I have been so stressed out trying to figure out how to make these things perfect, and I'm such a fucked up person, I will just not be able to do that. So, obviously, both of them are 1625, which is 8 over 5. They start with 1625, both of them. And then you subtract that and go to... Man, I hate this calculator because I have to always do... 0.5 plus, well, I mean, that's convenient because that's actually 55, but it's a curve. So phi, the thing is actually, it's a curve. The measurement is a physical curve. 0.5 into square root of 5 over 2, it's literally the location of the phi, the magnitude, the way the 5 is being generated. It's compressed in the second one. The first one is a gross generalization of 1/2. And then the second one is a compression of a specific measurement. Like a whole bunch of stuff coming into the 2, and then it literally goes into a specific measurement structure. That's why cesium has 5 digits. That's why it's 511. That's why you'll see 84 in binary. Sorry, I couldn't write it out. I wanted to go down, but I had to go up. So 101, and then you combine these, you square them, you multiply them, divide them, do whatever the fuck you want. But this is 5, and this is 5. And what is this? It's waiting for 1 to turn into 5. What? to go from 4 to 5. 85 is literally a 1 right here. It's waiting for a 1 to turn into a 5. So it's sliding 5s. The way that number works is movement. 5, 5, check 5, check 5, check 5. So anyways, that's what I was trying to tie the golden ratio into, is the movement, but because it's going into the specific geometric structure and it's becoming compressed, that's why it has the square root on the top and it's divided by 2. But that's why it's curving. That is curving and it's trying to get into that tiny structure that is optimized at the square root of 5 over 2. But it has to come in at a half. How else are you going to get into the fucking existence? Physical material reality, prime nodes, Riemann critical line. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, man. Orbitals. Oh yeah. Alright, so obviously this is the upper bound. The 2 to the 16 over 8 factorial is the upper bound because it's 7.3, obviously 0.073628366. And the way I read that stuff, like that could be another verification, because if you look at gamma, it's 5, obviously 0.5, remember, 0.5, got to have 0.5 to enter. It's the minimum compression value. 77 G2 symmetries, 215. That's the XMAP, XMAP, or the tumor overexpressed gene that manages microtubule construction. Anyways, I think that 215, I think that is the class representation of those specific digits, which means it's probably going to be tied to just below that at 2 to the 15. Because you'll see how this shit works later on. But it really does work like that. Depending on where you are in the measurement determines how these numbers match up to each other. Because this is morphogenic space, morphological space, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Time doesn't work the same exact way that we think of when we move from one side of the room to the other. Because information is way too big to be compressed into just the movement of a physical matter from one place to another, because the whole point is to compress as much energy and information as possible into the present moment as much as we can, which requires that every single atomic turn, every ion distribution in the body, every single little micro perturbation that is going on needs to have the maximum amount of universal information influxing into the environment, because literally God wants to be here. He wants to be here, and he wants to be part of our lives. This is not some weird stuff. How do you think we even exist? Everything has existed for so freaking long. It's so ridiculous how humans think of themselves as so fucking important. We are a download structure to make sure all of this stuff is happening, but the next events that are coming into place, we don't necessarily have control of those right now. All of this fear about human survival is fucking real, man. The consciousness structure of the universe is going to figure out how to regularize this specific spot to make sure that Earth is capable of existing into the future, no matter what celestial events are going on. If we want to be part of it, we better fucking figure this shit out soon. As many people as possible. There's always going to be humans around, because they'll fucking make sure we get kept around. And even if it takes a little while to figure out how to use humans, they'll figure out how to advance us and change our physical structure so that we can be valuable. I think we better try to get as many of us already doing that as possible, because else there's a bunch of people that die or get fucking put into slavery or whatever the hell you want to call global surveillance, where your entire nervous system is managed all the time. I don't care what you call it, but it's not going to be volitional, and you're not necessarily going to even know that it's happening. So the other value was pi minus a half. Looks like I'm still recording. Alright, this is that value. That's lower bound. Alright. What? Look at that number. Because remember, 17 is going into 99 in 797. And look at that number. First of all, obviously, it has symmetry with the 16 on the 2, right? It also has, it's the opposite of the digits 8-3 instead of 3-8. Also, it's literally the same digits of the strange attractor in reverse. And it's 1, if you look at it, look at it that way. Look at it going that way. 3, 8, 6 plus 1. What is that? It's the 387. That's the difference between 23 over 89 and the symmetry with the whale E8 whale group 600 over 213. And that's in the center of that binary number, which is also times 1000 to equal the speed of light first 4 numbers. Eight nine eight nine. With the permutation of 2 in the 4th digit. Man, I've been trying. I've put this stuff up elsewhere, and look how I drew this. Look how I drew this. So, like a fountain. So you start down here with the factorials and you go up. 6 is 720, which is 4 pi. And so that's the report system into the 7th orbital and 8 factorial. The way that I wonder if I've got it written down somewhere. I mean, I know I have it written down somewhere. I just don't know if I have it written down easily nearby. Oh, well, here's some. Okay, so yeah, so the 2389 is the difference between the 7429 and 7 factorial. So that's what I'm trying to say about how these factorials and the binary are trading off. I've been trying to set up an equation for this for a while, but I'm not going to get into it right this second. Oh yeah, and so 23. Look, what is this? What is this number on top? This is orbital fulfillment, bro. 3, 2. What is this? 2, 3. 2 to the third is 8. 3 to the second is 9. I told you about 511, and then what are we going to look at? Now, we're going to look at the next 2. 2 to the 10th minus 1, and then, by the way, 2 to the 10th, 10, 24, 10 base decimal structure into A24 monster group symmetry. Get the fuck out of here. But when you have it like this, because this is actually how I think it verifies with the Mersenne numbers. Because you gotta think, they're soft. They get soft after a little while. I can't remember if 511 is prime, and I can't remember if 1023 is prime, but I know 2047 is not prime because it's 23 times 89. So you gotta think of it. It's a poser. It pretends to be prime, but it has options, and it can be verified by other things. So, as we talked about, the 2389 is the difference between 7429, our verification number, and 7 factorial. Why is it the verification number? Because fucking gamma is the minimal compression that you get between harmonic trade-off and continuous growth. You have to have something verifying it, and it occupies that volume inside of everything. It creates the radius of rationality. I don't like the term convergence. I like the radius of rationality. That's what I'm going to use. And if you like the radius of convergence when you do your summations, then I think that that's great. But I like the radius of rationality because I think it makes sense, because what it says is how far out into the distance does this shit make sense? And when we get into composing systems of intelligence and how they interact with the environment and how you deploy systems of complexity to arrange an organized goal, then it's going to make more sense to use the word rationality. I don't care what we use. But in cross entropy, this radius of rationality is going to help us understand how to structure intelligence based off of the linguistic compression off of what base we're using. Right now we're just using base 2, base 10, and factorials, and then tying it into larger group symmetries in the whale structure, which ultimately still use base 10 to represent the base digits of their large structure. So we're not even that complex yet. We're just doing a couple bases trying to explain the electromagnetic coupling constant and things that are going on with tissues and numbers. And to help us understand how spectroscopic absorption, I'm not going to go there right now. Eventually we'll get there. Anyways, we'll stick with what we got. So, you got the 23 showing up here again. And then for the next value, it's in the prime factorization times 89, our favorite prime number. And you can see that 2047 verifies itself against the 89. This gets checked by orbital fulfillment and turns into 89 to create the speed of light squared, bro. So, we know that cesium inflates faster. By the way, that was 3333 right there when I finished saying that. We know that cesium inflates faster than the speed of light. When I say inflates, I mean that it anticipates the structure of the vectorization of the speed of light and inflates. It tells everybody. It tells itself. It goes, oh, this is what's going on. And it does it so fast that the speed of light actually cannot get to the other side of the volume of the cesium before it expands faster than the literal light can go through. And that's because of the specific angles that are inside the resonance. We'll get into the fact that it's on the color spectrum at the end. That's the 770. It probably warps around to the 9192. Oh, yes. And here we're going to talk about the 133 because we started the video talking about 134 E8. Look. Remember what you're talking about? Plus 1. The 386 plus 1. N plus 1. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever the fuck. Look here. This goes in like that. Here are your 99s. Here's your 1/2. Here's your 12 for Mazzola. 12 square roots of 2. I think that's going to equal 1054. Probably insert 8 factorial there, but now, sorry, I'm going too far now. Damn it, I had a specific train of thought, guys, and I set that up so strong, and now I'm fucking it up. Oh my god, I have got to work on that. Oh no. Guys, what the fuck was I talking about? I got so stressed out because I set that up so strong. So 333 is talking about the orbitals. Square root 2. Angles. So the reason I did that, I'm so sorry guys, I really truly am. I get so excited about this and then I get sidetracked. I'm gonna try to do a better job of saying specific things and like writing the thing that if I give a big explanation or big exclamation, I'm gonna try to write that specific thing down real fast so I don't forget it before I do a long explanation. I can't help it. It just happens to me. Anyways, this is the same thing as a loop structure. Just like 137035999, and it again it might have a 5. I can't remember 177. So that's the traditional denominator of the coupling constant. What I'm saying is that this is the same thing I was talking about with phi. It's a curvature. It's a curvature. So it's like this is a magnitude node. And then the rest of this is trailing digits because the information measurement is going like that. And then it references back here into the digit remainders and it cuts off at the square root of pi, which is 177. Which is just so happens to be G. Oh, I can't read it that way. G2 symmetries, and that's going to be at 77 prime and 77, which is what? It's the representations of the two different long and short mechanisms that are tied by the square root of 3 at 30 and 60 degrees. And they represent 3, 0, and what? 0 fucking 2, son. 2 and 3 again. Right here. Long and short, 30 and 60 degrees. And what is 60 degrees? 60 degrees is fucking 1/2 X value, bro. Fuck. Sorry. Alright. I am so excited to be releasing this stuff. I know it's not perfect. You guys feel free to criticize. Feel free to comment. Feel free to share whatever thoughts you want. Because I'm going to be releasing a whole bunch of stuff this next week. And I cannot be happier. No, I'm not scratching myself because I'm a crack addict. I'm just excited. Okay. Hope you guys are having a great day. We'll talk to you soon.